Hello, Julie here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I appreciate you spending your time here with me today, and today I'm going to show you 3 cards that I created using ink blending. For the first card, I'm going to use this Woodware stamp called Bold Blooms Ginny. I'm going to use my stamping platform to stamp the image onto my card front, so this is the actual front of the card, it's not a panel, using a VersaFine clear ink. I'm going to give it a coat with my embossing buddy first, then stamp it with the VersaFine ink, and then heat emboss it with white embossing powder. This is the first time I've used this stamp, and I'm going to have a white outline flower on a white background. I haven't had a lot of experience with blending inks. I think I may have done it once or twice before, but I'm certainly no expert at it. I'm going to put a row of mint tape where my card folds in half so I don't get ink on the back of the card. And I'm going to start with mustard seed and use my domed ink blending tool to blend some yellow, well, mustard seed, on the top third of my card. I want a fairly heavy colour. I don't want it too pale, and the brighter the colour, the more my white embossed image will stand out. The white embossed image sort of acts as a repellent to the paint and a resist, really, I suppose you'd say. And when I've finished blending the ink over it, I'll wipe over that embossed image, and you'll see that all the ink will come off. I'm going to work my way down the card using the same technique. I'm going to use ripe persimmon and festive berries. All of the inks that I'm using here are distress inks. As I said, I'm no expert at ink blending, but I found that they went on fairly smoothly and quite easily. As I said, once I've finished doing the ink blending, I'm going to take a tissue and just wipe over the top of my embossed image, and all of the ink colour will come off. I'm going to continue with my backgrounds and finish the cards off in one hit at the end. So I'm going to go for the same sort of look with this card. I'm going to have an ink blended background with a white embellishment on it, but this I'm going to do it a different way this time. So I'm going to start off with a panel. I'm not actually working straight onto my card for this one. So I've cut a panel and I'm using my same blending tool, but I just changed the foams over it for each different colour. I don't have a foam for each colour, but I sort of try and stick in the colour range. So on this card I'm using scattered straw, peeled paint and broken china, and I'm just blending those down the same way that I did for the first card, so about a third of the card on each one, and I'm going back with the lighter colour and blending over the darker colour where the two join. So I'm going to do that for the whole panel. Now I have this die, I don't know what brand or what the name of it is, but it cuts a very fine flower and then it cuts this bunch of flowers. And I considered going for the very fine one, but I thought I'd try something different and go for the thicker cut. So I'm going to now use my art glitter glue to attach that to my card front, well actually my card front panel. You'll notice that the background shades are more muted on this card than the first card, which was quite bright. My panel measures 3 3/4 inches by 5.5 inches, and I'm adding a bit of scrap chipboard to the back of it so that this panel will be risen up off of the front of the card when I attach it. Now I'm going to use my art glitter glue to attach that panel to my card base. For my card bases in this video, I'm using an A4 sheet cut in halves lengthways, so my cards actually measure 4 1/8 by 5 7/8. I've cut them from white smooth cardstock 300 GSM. And here we have the 2 cards we've created so far. So now we're going to try another technique. It's still ink blending but a little different. I'm going to use this Woodware stamp called Whimsical Flower Daisy May, and I'm going to heat emboss that once again, the same as I did before, using my stamp platform, my embossing buddy VersaMark ink, but this time I'm going to heat emboss it with black embossing powder. Once again, I'm working on a panel for the front of my card. Now I'm going to use my finger daubers this time to apply the ink, and I only want to colour the embossed image. I don't want to colour the background, so I'm going to have my coloured flower on a white background. This stamp is actually quite good for that because it's got quite large sections to it, so it wasn't that hard to try and keep it inside the lines. I did manage to get it outside of the lines in a couple of areas, but I simply used my sand eraser to erase those and they came off quite well, so not so bad. I'm using Mowed lawn for the stem and the leaves. I'm going to use the mustard seed for the petals and the ripe persimmon for the centre of the flower. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with my finger daubers. I wanted something shiny and black for the seeds in the centre of my flowers, so I've got this Viva Pearl pen in black, and I'm just going to put little dots of that where the seeds show in that flower centre. This dries risen and glossy. I had planned on just putting the panel on top of my card, but when I looked at it I thought it would look nice with a black frame around it. So I cut my white panel down to 3 5/8 by 5 3/8, and then I cut a piece of black cardstock 3 7/8 by 5 5/8, matted the flower panel on top of the black panel and then matted that onto my card front. I'm using double-sided tape to do this. I alternate between double-sided tape and liquid glue. No rhyme or reason, just whatever is the handiest. So there we have the 3 card fronts for today. Time now to add the sentiment. The sentiment for each of these cards is coming from the 13 Arts His and Hers Remastered sticker collection. So I'm just going to go through there and select some stickers and attach them to the front of my cards. These stickers are fantastic. They peel and stick, and that goes along with the idea of these cards. These cards have been so quick and easy to make, it's hard to believe. So I would recommend that if you haven't tried ink blending with the heat embossing or die cutting before, give it a go, because it's certainly not as hard as it looks, and the cards are really quite stunning. I use my bone folder to really press those stickers on because I don't want them coming off. Now that's the end of my cards for today. I hope you've enjoyed watching the video. As I said, give this technique a go. It's certainly not hard, and well, I hope you've enjoyed watching the video, and I hope that you will come and visit me when I post my next video. That should be fairly soon. And once again, thank you for being here, and I hope I will see you, or you will see me, when I post my next video.